dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, bitter cold temperatures are here and we might not get above freezing again until Saturday afternoon, and that's just barely above freezing. That's why we are continuing our severe weather alert day. Meteorologist Evan Hatter joins us now with the latest. Evan?
That's right, Steve. If there's any good news about what happened last night, we didn't quite get the snow as expected around much of the area, so that's going to help in that we don't have a lot of snowpack around to help cool the air off. Either way, it's going to be plenty cold no matter what happens. I-64 at Moorhead, you see, the roads are clear. Not too much in the way of snow there on the grassy surfaces, and we're even seeing a little bit of sunshine this afternoon peeking out. Not the case in the Cumberland Valley, where they're still socked in with the overcast. A couple of wetter spots there in the middle of those lanes, but otherwise all the snow has been kept to the sidelines there on the side of the roadway. Visibility still an issue in some spots. We're still dealing with that over in Southwest Virginia. Wise has visibility right now of 0 and just 5 miles over into Pineville. Temperatures right now, they are chilly. Low to mid-20s all around the region. Even Wise just at 19 right now. So the frigid air is moving in. But you notice slightly milder conditions over into central Kentucky, where they are currently seeing a little bit, and I emphasize a little bit, of sunshine. A few flurries sticking around into portions of the Big Sandy right now. Floyd Pike up into Martin and Johnson counties right now as well, even trying to sneak back on into Knott County here into the Kentucky River Valley. The heaviest of the cloud cover continues to push to the east, and you see they're seeing the sunshine in the bluegrass, but we are still going to see the snowfall, at least in some spots, throughout the, at least flurries throughout the evening until we can finally dry everything out. Low 20s this evening. We're back into the teens overnight, and I think we've got some even colder weather on the way. I'll have the details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. The snow is out of our region this afternoon for the most part, but icy roads are still a concern as temperatures drop into the teens tonight and maybe the single digits tomorrow night. WYMT's Dakota Makris shows us how road crews are making sure you make it home.
Traffic is flowing on Kentucky 15, but road crews say if you can, just stay home. Spokesperson for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet District 10, H.B. Elkins, says as of right now, they're not having any issues, saying they have plenty of salt and melting agents. The only issue is road crews cannot pre-treat roads because of the rain from last night. Elkins says heavily traveled roads like the Mountain Parkway, Kentucky Highways 15 and 80 are in good shape, but they are wet. He says their crews are working on priority B and C routes.
With the snow being as light as it was, we should be able to get those taken care of pretty quickly. But the problem is our melting agents start to lose their effectiveness about 15 to 20 degrees.
Now, if you do have to be out on the roads today, remember just to take it easy. Crews say you do not always see black ice, and if you are near a snowplow, just make sure you give it plenty of room. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Elkins says their crews reported to work last night at 10 o'clock. The Harlan County Health Department is blaming 2 large sporting events for its recent spike in COVID cases. A post on the department's Facebook page says they are overwhelmed with an alarming number of positive cases within a 24-hour time span. After some review, the health department identified the Harlan Independent versus Barberville boys basketball game on January 11th and the Harlan Independent versus Harlan County boys and girls basketball games on January 15th as super spreader events. They urge anyone who attended either game to monitor for symptoms and take extra precautions. WYMT's Zach Hawk is in Harlan County now talking with officials about this situation. We hope to have much more on that tonight at 6 and 11. If you or someone you know is a high school or college student that is passionate about improving the Hazard community, there's an internship opportunity for you. The City of Hazard Civic Fellows are opening applications for the class of 2022, looking for Kentucky high school or college students to take part in an 8-week paid summer internship. Those selected will work with community leaders to create and implement projects that benefit the community.
If you're interested in economics, you should do this. If you're interested in just making your community better, whether that's service or the arts are Parks and Recreation. We work with all of those organizations. Regardless of your interest, we're just looking for somebody who's passionate, who cares about their community, and who sees it as an area of possibility.
Applications for the City of Hazard Civic Fellowship are due February 19th. We'll have the link to the application on our website at WYMT.com. Nearly $689 million in infrastructure projects were announced by Senator Mitch McConnell yesterday, one of which was $1.1 million going towards Carr Creek Lake in Knott County. The money will help raise the height of the sediment dam and improve water treatment capabilities. Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says this project has been in the works for a while.
We want to keep it clean. A lot of people, they come, brings a lot of people in for tourism. A lot of people come, they like to fish the lake, swim, and you know, like I said, you know, it adds water quality to the people that we're servicing throughout Knott County and the surrounding counties.
Dobson says the project will help decrease the issue of sediment buildup in the lake. Democrats are regrouping after failing to advance their voting rights bill in the Senate. Democratic Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin refused to sign off on changes to the filibuster rule, which requires 60 votes for legislation to proceed, joining all 50 Republican senators opposed to it. Now focus is on figuring out another way to protect the voting rights of Americans, though some GOP senators, including Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, say the concerns behind the bill are exaggerated.
Our goal was to remove obstacles of participation. Instead of what the Republicans are doing is to put up obstacles for participation. So the fight for voting rights continues. We will not relent. The fight goes on.
This is not a problem. Turnout is up, biggest turnout since 1900. It's simply they're being sold a bill of goods.
Democrats may now try to break up the voting rights legislation into separate bills and pass it piece by piece. That blow from the Senate came on the eve of the first anniversary of President Biden's being sworn into office. Though his first 12 months were marked with some highs, such as passage of the bipartisan infrastructure package, he faces major challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic to congressional gridlock. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the White House with a look back at the past year.
Let me start by first saying
President Biden marked 1 year in office by focusing on his biggest legislative win to date, the bipartisan physical infrastructure law.
we demonstrated that Democrats and Republicans can actually work together to get something done.
Though some of his biggest priorities remain stalled, from voting rights to his massive social and climate spending plan.
We're going to have to probably break it up.
Democrats really need to scale back the ambitions that they had.
George Washington University professor Laura Brown notes the president has had major wins, like the American Rescue Plan COVID relief package, but also setbacks, from the chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal to current Russia-Ukraine tensions and a spike in inflation.
What really has, I think, bedeviled President Biden is a lack of consistency on the issues that Americans care the most about.
Recent CBS News polling shows a dip in approval ratings.
Polls go up and down, but we have to remain consistent in fighting for the American people and their needs.
Republicans have seized on the low ratings as they try to win back control of Congress this November.
What the election this fall is going to be about is about this administration and how it's doing.
I tell my Republican friends, here I come. What are you for?
The president has vowed to travel more this year and engage with the American public on his policies. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden also indicated to reporters this week that he does plan to run for re-election in 2024 with Vice President Harris as his running mate. The Biden administration is giving $103 million to healthcare workers to help promote mental health awareness and fight burnout. Health and Human Services says the money is funded by the American Rescue Plan. Some $28 million will go towards establishing or expanding programs promoting mental health and well-being. Another $68 million goes to tailored training development within the health profession. In total, there are 45 grantees. The CIA issued an interim finding that most cases of Havana syndrome were not caused by calculated attacks. It is an informal name given to a set of bizarre symptoms that have impacted about 1,000 U.S. officials around the world. One theory on the cause was some type of directed energy weapon used to collect intelligence or harass U.S. personnel. However, the report says most of the symptoms could be attributed to previously undiagnosed illnesses, but is further examining a handful of illnesses where this was not the case. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Thursday. The Dow closes down more than 313 points. Been a rough week on Wall Street. We'll have more financial news coming up in our next half hour. Still ahead on First at 4, a teenager in Europe has become the youngest woman to fly around the world alone. A look at her incredible journey.
And cold air continues to occupy the Ohio Valley on this Thursday afternoon. I'll have the very latest, though, on when things finally calm down as well on the way.